I can tell you now that most of the GSL winners wouldn't have won if they didn't have a team. Has Violet won GSL?
No.
That's because he wins events you don't have to prepare for.
Okay.
I love Violet, but like the preparation that goes into GSL specifically, you have to have a team. You cannot do that by yourself. And MC, for instance, is always the argument. MC still has all the OGS members. He practices with our team as well. If I shut him out and every other team shut him out, he wouldn't perform as well.
Right.
Yeah, but okay. I mean, you're all assuming that one person decides to just go with this, this kind of solo model, and then you still have these teams that are shutting them out. But if everybody was doing the same thing, and I mean these tennis players, they have they practice a little bit with each other. But yeah, for the most part, they don't. They don't play like a ton against each other like a teammate would. Currently in the Starcraft 2 environment. But my point is that if everybody's doing it, then I don't think it would be as much of an issue. And I think a lot of this kind of like this conflict with models, I feel like that we're talking about, whether it's from a governing body or from a just some organization or just some way of making money as an esport. I think might be a little bit clear. I mean, solutions might be a little bit more clear.
Well, I think as from a match play perspective, I agree with Chris completely. And I've written about this a little bit in that I think that when it comes to StarCraft as a game, the notion of having my 4 Pokemon play your 4 Pokemon one-on-one is a little strange. It just is. In that it's almost like you're playing fantasy football with the guys. There's in tennis the times where you see team competitions, it's on international basis. It's because you have a national team. And it's like Davis Cup, and you're playing in that sense, or it's like collegiate, or it's high school. It's something where there's actually some other tie between the people. Besides that, we have all signed contracts with the same person that's kind of managing us. So it's my position that it's a little awkward, but there are people that enjoy the format. There are people that like to watch the team competitions, and in the end, it's not like a complete abomination. It's not a complete abomination like the teams in the CGS were, where you had people playing different games, and then we were trying to mishmash everything and who's better at esports? I mean, seriously, at least everybody on the StarCraft team, they're all playing the same sport, and there's still it's all focused in that way. So I think it's less offensive, and I think if that's the way that you need to structure things in order to spell future growth in Market X, then by all means do it. I think what we're kind of like walking up to is saying, well, say we have a great idea and we have a structure we want to go for, and it makes all sense and everything, and it's like, okay, I think one of the things you were grappling with earlier is, well, how do you get everybody on board? How do you get all these disparate teams who have not necessarily great relations between each other, have basically been acting in an adversarial mode for the majority of their existence with other teams, in trying to get sponsorships and trying to get players and all that stuff, and everybody has their own interests, and everybody has sunk a lot of money into their own thing, right? The question becomes, okay, well, how do you make a transition?
Check your fucking ego at the door and decide that you want to be alive in 10 years.
Yeah, but it doesn't even have to come down to money. I mean, we can get into that a whole other time too. You can still create a structure and put a structure in place that helps growth and helps everyone win in the end. It doesn't have to be about divvying up any sort of money or control. But I mean, it would take me a good 2 hours to explain all of that. But I mean, just look at golf. I mean, there's several leagues, we'll call them leagues even though they're not, but let's say there's several gaming organizations, i.e. different golfing tournaments, and there's lots of different people from lots of different teams, let's say teams in this case would be sponsors, and they're all competing on the same circuit. And there's just that structure in place, and so people in growing up that are playing golf, they say, okay, I'm going to make it on this level of the circuit, then I'm going to make it on this level of the circuit, then I get to be a pro and make the big money. So my point has always been that there's ways to create structure that doesn't have to be about people giving up their own team identities and their own abilities to make their own money.
I think that is very possible. I think it's just something
it
that
just takes creative thinking, and it takes people.
Through.
It takes people to be thinking that way instead of to always be thinking about how can I make money. Because if you're always thinking about how you can make money for yourself only, then you're never going to be open to ideas in which it can help the entire industry.
It's kind of it is a closed ranks concept to say, all right, these 16 teams are going to come together and we're going to say, okay, how can we make money? Like, how can we survive as a business? But you have to.
What I'm arguing is
you have to, at least initially. You have to.
Otherwise, nobody fucking makes money.
Right. That's exactly where we're at right now. I think because honestly, like from my perspective, like if even if any of the other big teams, like if an EG or a Complexity or a Dignitas or a Mouse or any of those teams were to fall right now, like we're fucked. That's what I think. Like that would be like such a huge industry indicator at a critical time. Like we can't. I'm as much invested in EG's business as they should be in mine.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely should be helping each other out because otherwise we're just fighting for the same sponsors, in the same small pie. I mean, if we don't grow the pie, and like I said, my opinion is you grow that through creating a structure in place where everyone can find ways to, where we can grow it from the bottom up and continue to bring new people in and new, maybe one of the reasons why StarCraft 2 has lost its luster a little bit is because outside of the top personalities and the top few teams, everyone else just kind of feels like there's really not much reason for me to play anymore because I'm not going to get to that next level.
Yeah, that's like what we've been working on with the developmental talent stuff.
Yeah.
Like there needs to be all the different levels. There needs to be an entire ecosystem that's
You can have incentive without it being about money. I don't go play soccer every weekend and pay to play in an over 30 league. And yes, it means I'm old, but I don't play every weekend to make money or to win some sort of trophy. I play every weekend because I enjoy playing soccer. Well, I also enjoy winning. And so I play in a league, in a club, and I play to compete. And so a lot of players, I mean, ultimately all gamers are your competitors. Again, I don't play games to just play. I play to win. Even if I'm playing a single-player game, I play to win. And I think, we can safely say that most of us are competitors, and we want to compete. And so if there's just that structure in place from the bottom up, and this is the last I'll say on it, from the bottom up, where you continue to have a way to build, then the teams at the top will find new and inventive ways, new creative ways to make money off of this huge base of people that are driving the industry to growth. That's all I gotta say. It's way late.
I'll get off your line and let you carry on. And also, thanks for letting me rant for a little bit. I think the disconnect here is that there's two distinct modes between this. There's one in which the participants pay their own way, and they're playing recreationally, like you're saying. And they're doing it because they want to improve, they want to compete. They're the consumers of the match play product. There's a different mode in which the players are the people producing the product. The players are producing something that is interesting to watch. And that's a difference. And I think esports has done a good job of just making a big messy jumble of the two and not having a real distinct place of for instance, let me illustrate this with Major League Gaming. up until very recently, their focus was on getting people to come to their events and participate. In my opinion, their focus was on getting people, getting teams and getting players to come and play in their tournaments at their events. And I think that's a big part of the reason why they've struggled to find something that has kind of, where the penny has dropped for them, is because the focus was on this participatory thing where you come and you play and there are pro people here and you can, test your mettle against the pros and come on down to the city and play these guys. And in reality, like, it's an awkward model to be in. You want people to come because they're participating in the whole spectacle, but not everybody's out on the field. Not everybody's playing. You have to focus down, and you have to let the people that are the best compete and focus on that. And I think that's the difference between events like that and events that we're seeing more recently, where it's like Home Story Cup or like the international, the Dota 2 International, where the teams that we select are awesome, and you should watch them because they're awesome, and we think there's value just in that. But the last thing I wanted to say was that when you get a structure like we were talking about with MLS or these other sports leagues, one of the things that you brought up was that everybody's fighting over the same audience. Everybody's fighting over the same demographic, the same group of people to try to grab their attention and sell sponsorship to and sell marketing to and all that. The sports leagues, in the way that they're structured, solve that problem by assigning a locale to teams. By spreading them out across a market and saying, this is your area, this is your area, this is your area, this is your area, this is your area. And having that touch point allows you to go after sponsors that are not necessarily gaming or esports or electronics or any of that stuff related, because you have a presence in a community where you can reach different groups of people and you can talk to local businesses that may want to sponsor you. And there's more to unfold here, but what I'm getting at is there are a finite number of people that would be willing to throw money at esports at this point because of the nature of the demographic and because of the limits of it. It's very focused on just one particular industry. And when you give a team roots in a specific city, you deliver all of the people in that city that might be interested in gaming or even sport in general as an opportunity to market to. So I think that's one of the missing links here between where we're at and where we need to be.
Yeah, we have long ways before we get to that point. But I agree with that's some of what those things we do need to head in that direction.
Yeah.
Should probably get another caller in here before I pass out, though.
Actually, we're probably going to have to get going. But, Chris, I appreciate it, man. A lot of good points.
Not from his call. Oh. I didn't mean I was going to pass out from his call.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
But, you wouldn't be the first, friend.
No, I understand.
Yeah, but check out Chris's blog. It's KeekerDC. What's the actual URL? Dear.
I just put it in the chat.
Okay, you did. Great. All right, Chris. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I think we don't have time for any more callers, actually. So why don't we wrap it up? We kind of gone over by quite.
You know what? I mean,
minutes.
honestly, I think that I want to emphasize something here, just for the folks that are watching, right? Guys, definitely, these kind of conversations about this side of the business and stuff like that, I think that's really one of the things that we really want to bring. I mean, other people are trying to do it, but we want to try to bring it through this kind of a vantage point. I think that's something really unique, somewhat of a cross between the executives and real talk.
Yeah.
Well, who else? I mean, who else is going to have these conversations? Honestly,
right? Exactly. Right.
They're not. They're not going because they would have to expose their own weaknesses. They'd have to expose their own. Well, this is why we do it. This is the reason This is the reason we do it because it makes us money. They would have to expose some of that stuff, and they won't. They won't do it. And people that are on the Real Talk show, they're not. Most of them aren't real talking. They won't say it.
Well, Real Talk's a different. I mean,
Real Talk's personal.
It's a totally different thing. JP's doing.
That's true too. That's true.
He's
too.
doing an inside the Actors Guild type of thing, which is not the same thing as this.
I was responding to what people were saying in chat. Like you said, Josh, I shouldn't have.
But tonight I feel like we need to do more of this type of thing on the show, which is just talking a long time through points, and just letting it kind of organically just turn into different conversation. We have all these topics that we didn't get to, right? And I feel like we've been doing a little bit of kind of forcing into topics like recently, and we'll be getting away from that and really just having more open discussions on this show, like moving forward. But Josh, man, amazing today. Big thanks for coming on, buddy.
Thanks for staying late. Too.
Yeah, exactly. I know. It's
Hey, man,
it's past lunch.
1:30 p.m. here.
Exactly.
No.
I've had my coffee. I'm all good.
But why don't we do some shout-outs? You got any shout-outs?
Me?
Yes.
I have a shout out to Razer because they've been helping us a lot lately with a lot of the stuff we've been dealing with our restructuring. Shout out to everyone in esports, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really much else I can say. I don't have that many people that I'm friends with. I don't know.
Oh man.
Hey man, hey, you know what? I feel fortunate to call you and to be considered one of your genuine esports friends, Josh.
We've had this conversation before.
Are we all sponsored by Razer?
Yes, we are all Razer
Oh my
family
God.
here. If we had Bitter on here too, we'd be like serious. We are family.
Actually, my last shout out is to everyone to buy the Tiamat 7.1. I'm sorry, but it's the best headset I've ever had, and you should get one.
I need to get Drew to send me one, man. But how about all the VG folks out there, man? No shout out for them.
They don't deserve a shout out because they just insult me all the time. I love it. I love it because it's funny, but
it's all good. It's all good. Big thanks to those guys for watching.
We're gonna try to get Alex on the show, so we'll see if he'll come on and talk about things from his perspective. I mean, he's definitely the clear market leader right now, at least in the team space. So I mean, it's always good. To,
Everybody's always like, "Oh, we're bashing EG on the show." We don't actually bash.
We use them as example because they are in a position to be used as an example, and if they don't like it, then suck it up because that's what you get when you're the top dog.
Yeah, they're more than used to that, I think, by now.
Yeah, so we'll try to get somebody. Alex would be great, but anybody from EG Management, we'll try to get on this show soon. And
everyone's raging at me in chat about not putting up my Forex video yet. If I wasn't on this show, I would have streamed my trading. I've been trading during the show, so
multitask, man, right there.
I'll do it tomorrow. I promise. Tomorrow at the same time this show started today, I will stream my trading.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Josh here is he trades like during the. I mean, he work. FXOBoSs is actually a brokerage firm.
Yeah, man, money and hose.
Yeah, exactly. So this guy knows how to make money and hose. Come on.
Fourth largest in the world, boys. Fourth largest in the world.
Fourth largest in the world. And what were you, 2011 Financer of the Year or something? Did you won that award?
I won the best broker in Australasia.
That's what it was. Yeah. See, this guy knows how to make money. Just make money in esports, man. Jeez.
Where do you think my money goes?
Yeah, but
and for anyone that was listening from the very beginning, remember that this guy knows how to make money.
Yeah.
And he's asking people, where should I be investing my money because StarCraft 2 may not be it. So, I mean, just keep that in mind when we're all talking.
Hey, listen, I'd love to have Scoots on the show, man. I think the problem is that I've been asked not to directly communicate with him. So,
oh my God, Scott would just I wouldn't put either you or Scott through that.
I like the guy.
That would
I mean, it's all good, dude. It's all good. Yeah, but I mean, he's definitely an icon in the esports industry for sure.
Yes. But
we all love Scooch.
Exactly.
Even though he rages.
So do you.
Oh, I think, dude, you can't not be here for any length of time without, like, you could say, like, you come in here and you're like, oh, well, that's not going to be me, man. I'm Mr. Ultra Professional. I come from professional business, and a year later, man, you're like saying and thinking and feeling things you never thought possible. I was like, this business is tough, dude. It's rough for sure.
And you don't know whether someone's trolling you or not. That's the worst part.
That's me
Reacting
right there,
to something
man.
that's like a big ass bait, and you're like, oh fuck, I shouldn't have said anything about that.
Yeah, exactly right. No shit. I know that feeling.
I don't know. Better to be talking freely than having to reserve your words all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
right.
my usual shout-outs, Razer, Twitch, Machinima Versus, DB Vision, Asus Republic of Gamers, and, of course, our partner StarTale. And, yeah, same thing as Boss, you know, all the other professionals that have dedicated their time and energy into trying to make this something that's viable and sustainable long-term. I think that, you know, everybody has their own reasons for doing so, but I think it's definitely something worth pursuing and something that, you know, we're going to keep fighting for, so fight the good fight.
Actually, we should have brought that up. They're bringing it up in chat about should journalists reveal their sources.
No, let's drop that.
Yeah,
You
I
don't
know,
reveal
I-
we
your
can talk another
sources,
day.
That's retarded.
We can talk another day on that one.
Someone
I know.
suggesting that you should reveal your sources is just scared that the truth is going to be outed. Get over it.
Yeah. All right, John.
We just have
enough
trouble
said on that, then.
do like a pudding wrestling contest or something, maybe.
Pudding wrestling.
Let's see. Who can I give shout-outs to? I'll give a shout-out to Razer. I haven't done that yet. A shout-out to CSN. To all the guys there that I guess you could say they work very hard for free. A shout-out to all those that pay attention every day and continue to play video games, because that's why we're here. That's why we're able to have these conversations. And shout out to you guys for being on the show and keeping me up till 12:30.
Old man.
Yes.
Yeah, big thanks to all the viewers, obviously, for staying up late and watching us tonight. I'll give another shout out to Razer, because we're all part of the Razer family here. For supporting. Actually, they don't sponsor this show, but they sponsor Pro Corner. So
SteelSeries people, you're safe here. We're not going to ostracise you.
Exactly.
You can still
Kim
play
Rom.
SteelSeries
Kim
on our
Rom.
show. It's okay.
Kim Rom, get your ass on the show.
Kim Rom, come on, baby.
Yeah, exactly. But
I think Scoots wants to call in.
does he?
No, I'm just joking, but he is in the chat.
That'd be crazy.
He's stuck.
Troll.
But
He's older than me, so he should be in bed.
I'm not switching a lot.
Oh, he's
oh,
West
come
Coast.
on.
He's
Scoots games, he games all night long. Jesus.
Sometime.
But
yeah.
It's called Scoots After Dark.
He's mountain,
Exactly.
so he's an hour behind. So anyway.
Cool. But yeah, anyways, guys, we'll have the VODs up on my channel and Machinima Versus probably sometime tomorrow morning, or this morning for some of us. And next week, I don't have our guests quite finalized, so hopefully we'll have somebody from Razer. Actually, Chris Mitchell may be on here next week.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get Chris Mitchell, and then I think, I don't know, I'll reach out to Alex.
Yeah,
it'd be great if we could get Alex on, but I know
That'd be great.
he's been out of the country like a lot, like back to back recently. So
Yeah, I can imagine. But yeah, other than that, just big thanks to the mods. I mean, it was crazy today, so huge thanks to the mods. And for all you guys that commented on that Reddit thread today about me, so appreciate it. All that constructive criticism, I will take into account all of that, and hopefully tonight was even just some of it in action. But yeah. So anyways, that's going to be it for Climbing the Ladder this week. We will see you next time. Peace.
he's